America. Hello, fellow patriots. I drive a Mustang. So this is Chris's 2014 Mustang GT California Special. So the 2014 GT is powered by a 5-liter V8, dual overhead cam, and it makes 420 horsepower and 390 foot-pounds of torque. The equivalent amount of pounds is a well-fed American. This guy actually revs up to 7,000 RPM, which I didn't know. That makes me happy because I like high revving engines. The power of this car isn't very refined. It's more so they just threw all the power at it. They're like, it doesn't need to be smooth, it just needs to be there. They fucking threw it all there. Funny thing is, you can feel the torque, you can feel the power, but it doesn't feel fast until you look at the speedometer and realize how fast you're actually going. And the car, it definitely feels like you're navigating a land yacht. The car is really big, so I'm probably like way off from the lines, and yeah. Oh, you're gonna pull over for me? Oh. I feel like the Mustang is really good at getting people to get out of the road. It just looks so intimidating. Yeah, let's listen to this. The power of this car is just awesome. I love it so much. That is for sure is one thing Ford can do good. Now in the aftermarket, you can't compare it to an LS, but just out of the box, I'm in love with this engine already. So the only difference this has from the regular GT, the California Special, is the interior has this little carbon fiber stuff and some Alcantara inserts in the seats and nice little stitching on the doors. Just nice little refined little things, little hood vents. I think the little lip on there also is new to the California Special, and the stripes on the side are what's special to the California Special. And it's cool because they made only a limited run of these, so this is a valuable, well, it'll eventually be a valuable car one day. And it looks really good. It doesn't look like your typical cookie cutter Mustang. You can definitely spot this one out of traffic. Doesn't look like the thing you'd see at a rental fleet, or the kind of Mustang you'd see a middle-aged woman driving. Definitely gives it an aggressive look, and the wheels Chris put on here are even more epic. So he threw on some FR 500s. The fronts are 9.5 width, the rears are 10.5 width, and put 275/35 200 treadwear Nexons on the car. And this is Nexon's new 200 treadwear tire that they're trying to compete with, like the Hankook RS3, Dunlop Dureza, and the Bridgestone RE71. So far the tires are super grippy. I was a little intimidated at first, if I'm completely honest, because just seeing all the jokes about Mustangs losing control and Mustangs running into crowds, I started to think, you know, they had the solid axle in the rear. That's probably why they're really easy to lose control of. And I don't feel like that's the case right now, but I can definitely feel like the rear end's just sitting there doing nothing. You know, usually in like independent rear suspension cars, the suspension's there ready for you. It's ready to grab the road and rip the asphalt out and throw the asphalt to the next bystander. This car, the rear end, it's just floating there. That's what it feels like. It feels like it's doing nothing. It's just like, oh, I'm here to support the car, that's it. So the front end does all the work, and the rear end has the potential to shoot out, or the rear end has the potential to just stick there depending on what your front input is. And that's what kind of makes the Mustang fun to drive on a twisty road, because you have the unpredictability, so it adds a little bit of a fear factor to the car. And if you overexert that rear end, you could really slide out easily. But yeah, coming through a corner, I really can't feel what the rear end's doing much. I just feel it like floating around back there. This interior is really comfortable though. Like, I think Ford spent a lot of time on the inside of this car. Everything, I really like it. It's a little square and boxy up here at the dashboard, but everything's super comfy and in reasonable reach. And it looks nice. It looks like what you paid for this car was put into the interior. It feels like you spent your money well. The only thing, my gripe personally, is how old school the steering wheel is. I like the interior. It's like, oh, nice and elegant, and then perfect steering wheel, America. We just ripped it out of a '69 Mustang and slapped it in here. I know they do that just because it's a Mustang and trying to pay back to some lineage of its heritage. But it's just, I don't like this big round steering wheel. It makes the car feel old, and everything else looks so modern and fresh and refined, and then just black steering wheel. So my only gripe about the car is the shifter. It feels like when you're in neutral and you're making sure it's in neutral, it feels like a 25-year-old car that has worn out shifter bushings. And then going into gear isn't really confidence inspiring. Like, it's still notchy, but it isn't like, you don't feel like you're in gear. You feel like you started to click into it, but didn't go in all the way, but it is. That's taking some getting used to. Personally, I don't like it. And the other thing I don't like is the clutch grab is kind of low. And that might just be because I'm comparing it to my Z that grabs really high, but it grabs like an inch or two off the ground. But the clutch is still firm. I don't think it has a bad slave cylinder. Yeah, it feels like that rear end does nothing. Just look at that, nothing. I feel nothing going on back there. Just feel the rear wheels just hooked there, and that's it. They're not going to let go of you and make you fall, but they're not going to catch you either when you mess up. The more I drive this, it's just so fun because of that factor there. Because that surprise factor, it's refreshing to me. Because I don't know what it's going to do. And what's going to happen in the back of my head is a new feeling for driving for me. And it makes this car really fun to drive. Now, I know a lot of other Mustang guys, you know, the typical, stereotypical crowd killer Mustang guys, they don't drive their cars for that reason. They drive it because it's big, brash, and American. But to me, as someone who likes to go canyon driving around the track, it's so different. It's really refreshing and fun to drive, actually. One thing that the Mustang does really well is it grabs people's attention. And it gets people's attention of people who aren't into cars. Because to people who aren't into cars, this is a cool car. This is the car you get when you're successful. This is the car that says you're a badass. This is the car that says it's extremely fast to people who don't know about cars. And if you're one of those guys that hates on Mustangs, like I used to, always used to be like, ha, understeer, ha, it's a pig, it's a boat on the road. Go drive one. Go drive one and see how it feels to you. See if you have the same experience I have driving this car. Bet you any money, if it's a good Mustang, you're gonna have fun in it.